Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I'm Joe Sidoti. This video is about how I built the ultimate Mac Mini for Pro Tools and Final Cut Pro 10. Let's get into it. Okay, so why use a Mac Mini for Pro Tools and Final Cut Pro 10? It certainly has its challenges if you just look at kind of face value. So let me go back in time and explain to you what I had, what I did, and why I made the decisions that I made. And hopefully this video can help you decide if a Mac Mini is gonna work for your workflow and what you're doing and what kind of projects you're working on. I had an older 2008 or 2009 Mac Pro Tower, right? This is before the trash can, so yeah, 2008, something like that. I don't know. I really don't know. I can't remember. It was old. And some of the things I liked about that Mac Pro is, one, the hard drive bays, right? I could put four internal hard drives into it, and that was helpful. Yeah, it had PCIe slots. I didn't really use them except for a graphics card. I've not needed to be on a Pro Tools HD, system where I needed Excel cards. So that was whatever. But they were so dang freaking cheap, right? I mean, you could pick them up. I picked mine up on eBay for like $400, and it came with 64 gigs of RAM, and it was I think it was a 12 core. Yeah. So, I mean, it was a lot of computer for the price. Where it really lacked was, upgradability to newer operating systems. Okay, so I was kind of stuck in limbo in this world of I can't really upgrade higher than maybe El Cap, and I certainly can't go to the latest Pro Tools. So I'm kind of stuck in Pro Tools 12, and I made that work for a while. Well, one day it finally decided to kick the bucket, and I was bummed because, man, the new Mac Pro had just been announced, and I knew I wasn't going to be able to afford that, right? And I knew that I didn't want the trash can because that definitely was just too different from what I was used to. So I kind of started searching. Do I do an iMac Pro? Man, those things are stinking expensive. $5,000 to get a good one, And then I started, just looking online and looking at YouTube. A lot of videos talking about this Mac Mini, this new Mac Mini, how it's so awesome. So I took a look. And you know what? It is. I mean, here's the reason why. Here's why it's awesome. It's because it has 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports. That's pretty much the only reason why it's awesome. And so that's what I'm going to show you on this video is how did I utilize those 4 Thunderbolt 3 ports, and how did I build the ultimate Mac Mini for Pro Tools and Final Cut 10? Okay, so when I looked online and I watched all the videos, it was quick to find out there's actually only one model of the Mac Mini that is worth buying for what I'm doing, and that would be the 6-core i7, right? And it did have some user upgradable RAM, and that's exactly what I did. So I bought 32 gigs of RAM. I bought the 6-core i7, but once I started using that for Pro Tools, everything was fine. And then I started making these videos, and that's when it freaking started to suck. And everyone says it in all the videos, right? Well, the graphics aren't very good. I wouldn't do any real video editing on it. Everyone's right. Listen to them, listen to me. I'm telling you, you're going to want to do something different if you're doing any kind of video editing. Yeah. So let's take a look at all the goodies that I bought, and then we'll talk about it. I think it's important for me to make sure that you know that this is by no way sponsored by anyone, by OWC or anyone. I just trust them, and this is the stuff that I decided to buy. Your mileage may vary. You know, there's lots of good stuff out there. You know, Sonnet's got stuff, Blackmagic's got stuff. This is the route I went, and so I just wanted to show you what's working for me. That's all. All right, so the Mercury Elite Pro dock. I got this because I wanted the fastest connection I could get to the Mac Mini via Thunderbolt 3. I actually have a 4-bay external drive box that I've got a bunch of different drives in, but it's actually a USB 3.1. It's fast, it's just not as fast, and I wasn't really having any major issues with Pro Tools or Final Cut as far as the speed, but again, this is just my no compromise here. I wanted to make sure that I got the absolute fastest. And one of the benefits of this is it has that SD slot on the front. I know it's a small deal, but I'm constantly popping out an SD card, popping it in, getting graphics off of it, videos off of it. So, you know, that was kind of a nice feature. That's a real nice feature. Okay, it's no secret that the onboard graphics on the Mac Mini are not so great, and it was fine for Pro Tools, but even then on a 4K display that I'm using, meters would sometimes be just a tad glitchy. I mean, it's just really not up to par. So I picked up the AMD RX 5700 XT graphics card, and that was bundled with the Akidio Node Titan. This should make all the difference in the world. And here it is, the Akidio Titan, and this thing is awesome. I will say, you know what, it's a lot bigger than I thought it would be. I mean, I barely could fit it in the area that I had slotted for it in my my rack, but it was really easy to install. I mean, you just pop the graphics card in and you're up and running. The Mac Mini saw the graphics card right away. It shows up in your toolbar, and you can see that it's connected. It really is a plug-and-play situation. Okay, so that's the stuff. Now let's dig into exactly the specs and how this thing is actually functioning and how to make sure you're getting the most out of this computer. All right, so I'm going to show you the stats of this computer here. As you can see, there is the Radeon graphics card. I'm on macOS Catalina, and there's my 6-core Intel i7 with 32 gigs of RAM. And even here, if you click here, it'll show you that it is in fact connected, and if you wanted to disconnect it, you could certainly click there, and that just shows up automatically. Now for the OWC dock, I've got both of my OWC drives plugged into that, so I can get the fastest there, and then on my other 4-bay are these hard drives here. So really, I have more hard drives than I had in my Mac Pro Tower before, so that's awesome. All right, let's open up Final Cut Pro. Just gonna show you a couple things that you need to make sure you have set. Here I am editing this project that you're watching right now. Click here, go to preferences, and then let's see, playback, and right here. You want to make sure that render and share uses the external GPU. So any rendering and any exporting is going to use the power of this external GPU. It's pretty much that simple. And things literally go 10 times as fast. Okay, now let's launch Pro Tools, and we are going to do a test just to see how well this Mac Mini is actually performing in Pro Tools. And I'm just going to give you a spoiler alert, it's awesome. All right, so I am going to create 128 stereo tracks. That is 256 voices. So let's do that. All right, let's set the buffer size lower to 256, just so we can kind of put the computer through a little bit more of a test. Now I'm going to start putting some plugins on these tracks. First, my go-to would be the Slate stuff here. Gotta have the virtual rack. Let's add, the old deverb. Now the deverb thing apparently is a big deal. So a lot of people are using that as a benchmark test. So let's do deverb, and what the heck, let's add another EQ. Just the basic EQ from Pro Tools will be fine. All right. Now that we have added that, I'm just going to disable 64 of the tracks. We're going to start at 64 stereo tracks, 128 voices, and we'll start working our way up from there. So right click, make inactive. All right, let's bring in some audio. And I have a stereo drum mix here, and I'm just going to literally duplicate it on every track. All right, here we have it, 64 active and 64 inactive audio tracks, stereo. Let's see what kind of stuff we can put this computer through. Just double check one more time. We are still at 256 buffer, just for your reference. And I'm gonna move this window down, and here we go. Pay attention to the voices there. We're at 128 voices. As you can see, it's doing just fine. I mean, that alone right there, guys, can we pause that for a second and understand that 128 voices on a Mac Mini, 64 stereo tracks with a deverb, a slate, and another EQ on every plugin, that's already killer. Okay, but that's not enough. We need to push this thing harder. Let's see what we can do. Activate 8 more tracks, and let's check out what that does. There you go, pushing 60% there now, 144 voices. Really not concerned about this either. If you notice, we're only using 22% of our memory of our 32 gigs of RAM. So I'm not really wishing I had 64. All right, 8 more tracks, here we go. Let's see what happens. All right, we're at 63, 64. I mean, Still really awesome, and just showing you, I mean, these are all playing. The graphics are kind of choppy when I scroll, but other than that, they're working fine. So let's add more. Let's add 8 more tracks and give that a whirl. Okay, we're pushing the 70 now. 75, down to 50, 60, 70. I mean, I'd say 70. And I mean, this is awesome. Let's add more. 8 more. Let's do it. Here we go. $192 voices, guys, on a Mac Mini. 73, 75% total. This is awesome. Can't stop there, let's add 8 more. Okay, I mean, 82, it's starting to get high. I'm not too nervous yet, but I'm starting to get nervous. And here we go. Let's do 8 more. All right, 224 voices. Oh, there we go, 90%. Okay, that's starting to get to where, you know, I'd be nervous if I was looking at this. Of course, don't look at it and you won't be nervous. But it's not crashing. But just in case, just so I can get through this test, I want to prove that you can do 256 voices. I'm gonna raise the buffer. And let's do 8 more. I wanna get this thing to 128 stereo audio tracks. So that brought it down a few percent, you know, well, decent amount, 5 to 8%. So that helps. Let's see if that's enough to push us over the cliff here and get to the final 16. Here's 8 more. Here we go. Boom. I mean, look at that. Now we're back to where we were with 8 less, but at a lower buffer size. All right, it's working. Man, here we go. I want to do the last 8. Do you think the Mac Mini can handle it? Now keep in mind, this is with my fast hard drive in the Mercury box, 32 gigs of RAM, 6-core i7. Here we go. Boom shakalaka. Are you freaking kidding me? Look at this. I mean, it's close, guys. It's getting up there. But it is playing all those files. Here they are. I mean, we are playing. I'm scrolling. It's playing. Look at all of these tracks with all of those plugins. Now, there's no automation. There's no audio edits. There's no cuts. I know that, you know, this isn't necessarily real world, but this is an excellent test. This should make you feel good about buying the Mac Mini for Pro Tools. Uh-oh, there it went red after I stopped. I had to think about that. I'm just extremely happy with the performance of this. I've actually been using this for a while, so this isn't new to me, but I mean, I don't know that I've ever done this test, so yeah, it's working. That's it. I hope this video helps you. I hope that maybe it's helped you to decide whether you do or you don't want to try the Mac Mini thing with Pro Tools and Final Cut Pro 10. I wish this video existed when I was searching. I would have felt better about it. So I kind of was not sure. I definitely learned the hard way. Yeah, gotta get the graphics card. Hey guys, if you liked this video, if it was helpful, share it. Press that like button. What do they say? Smash that like button. Smash it. Subscribe to my channel. It helps me know that you're digging what I'm putting out and I can make more videos like this. So I hope to see you making lots of music and lots of videos on your Mac Minis. All right, guys. See you next time.